to this episode of Three Questions. I'm Greg Michlig, President and CEO at CUInsight.com, and it's great to be joined by Payton Moore, Marketing Operations Manager at Zogo. Payton, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Greg. I'm so excited to be with you today.
Well, it's my pleasure, and we appreciate the partnership with Zogo and appreciate you joining me. So let's jump into those three questions that we have.
Awesome.
So
Let's do it.
all right, sounds good. So, Zogo's research with DCDX found that 85% of Gen Z has walked away from a financial decision because the language was too confusing. What should credit unions take away from that?
Yeah, our research was awesome. We did a study with over 1,000 Gen Z individuals to understand kind of what their feelings on finance are. I think there's a huge gap between what Gen Z wants and how credit unions are in the market now. And I think that this stat is alarming, but it's super encouraging because it means the demand's there. There's just a barrier of education. With the financial market now, it's harder to own a home, get a job. AI is making people so nervous that there's a lot of fear around people's finances and their stability in their future. So they're making decisions with hesitation. So if they are not fully informed into what they need to know or don't even know where to start in their research process, that's going to stop them from making that decision. So I think that that's bleak. However, that means the demand's still there. There just needs to be an on ramp to get those conversions, to get those Gen Z individuals feeling empowered enough to make decisions.
So you shared some information on the barriers, just kind of laid a little groundwork for this. But I'm really curious, why do you think Gen Z is underrepresented in credit union membership?
Yeah, I mean, I think it stems from the same lack of education and knowledge I just discussed. Credit unions are so special and they do so much for the communities. And I think that anyone who's aware of that would be super, supportive of credit unions and want to become a member, a place that actually cares for them in their community. But I don't think credit unions are necessarily speaking their language and growing engagement on the channels that Gen Z shows up on. In our research, we also found that buy now, pay later is a huge avenue where a lot of Gen Zers are utilizing these financial services, but they're underinformed. About 1/3 of the participants use buy now, pay later to buy things they can't afford. They don't understand it as loans, they understand it as buy now, pay later. Why? Because these companies have spoken to Gen Z and created a connection with their brand as its own entity. They're on these channels. So these are just not the best institution for them, perhaps, but these are the financial institutions that are in front of them. And so they're making choices based on what's available to them, what's speaking their language that seems like they know them, maybe not necessarily what's best for them, just what's engaging with them in their everyday on social media or in the ads that they see or in the brand pop-ups that they see, or maybe it's their friend uses these resources too.
No, that's really interesting. The buy now, pay later piece is, I don't know if it's surprising, but that's a significant percentage that you put out there. One, I think you said 1 in 3.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to approach Gen Z. Obviously, I am not Gen Z, so I'm not the expert on
That's
what
okay.
is
That's okay.
maybe effective there. But you are. So how can credit unions attract more Gen Z members and keep them engaged over the long run?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think we can't just do, all right, where's our multi-million-dollar marketing campaign across social media and influencers? Like that stuff's great, but I think that in terms of really actionable items, it's stuff like changing your website copy to more outcome driven, right? Like maybe I don't know what an APR is, or I feel really comfortable about it, or what goes into a loan application, but I understand how something affects my life. What are the outcomes to my finances? What's this going to look like in 5, 10, 20 years? Understanding kind of outcomes and effects. And all right, what if I don't pay a payment on time? Just giving enough context over the decision that they have to make stuff like that is going to support that barrier, right? People, 85% have walked away from a financial decision because they were underinformed. Well, just copy like that can help close that gap. Understanding, helping them understand what does this loan actually make possible, I think is hugely beneficial. Another thing is just embedding education directly into your product and service pages similarly. So outcome driven, but also just any kind of education at all. Advertising things such as home loans and auto loans without any explanation, you're assuming your members are proactively doing the in-depth research on their own to understand exactly what it is they're buying into. Most Gen Z members don't know where to start when it comes to research. So, offering education right when they need it and the moment they need it the most helps build your trust with them, and then also allows them to be more informed, confident, and empowered to make that decision.
And really the theme that you've shared throughout is just that education piece
Mm,
is so important to engage Gen Z and to help them, you know, build that trust with your credit union, with your financial institution, is what I'm hearing.
yes,
If
absolutely.
Yeah, so if you have any final thoughts kind of on that topic or anything else that you'd like to share with us before we wrap up, yeah, feel free to share.
Yes, I'm happy to. Financial education is obviously very important to me. I think that we're in a financial literacy crisis in our country, and um, even though that we're in a world where access is everywhere, I have my phone on me at all times with every resource in the world. It's That's kind of intimidating, and I'm not exactly really empowered to do that research on my own or really to spend the time. So that's why I love Zogo so much. It's gamified financial education that people actually want to complete. You gain rewards with gift cards and for completing lessons. So you're empowered not only to learn intrinsically, but also I love a gift card to my favorite places. So um yeah, just talking about this kind of stuff really um, gets me going and makes me proud to work for Zogo, who's doing a lot to make education accessible to all.
That's awesome. That's a great way to wrap up. The gamification piece is always, it's so much more engaging, and love that approach
Mm,
that Zogo takes
thank you.
to make education more, as you said, accessible but also engaging for users. Well, I thank you, Payton, for taking some time to spend with me on this video interview, and I
Thank you,
thank you to
Gray.
Zogo for the partnership.
Thank you so much. This was such a pleasure. It was wonderful talking with you.
I enjoyed it as well. And I also want to take a moment to thank all who tuned in for this Three Questions video interview. We'll see you next time.